Out with the old, because the Dallas Cowboys are shifting gears in a big way. A new era is taking shape in Dallas, and it's being led by offensive coordinator Brian Schottenheimer. This isn't just a tweak to the playbook. It's a full-blown culture reset. Gone are the worn-out slogans and hollow motivational mantras. The Cowboys are done playing it safe. They're embracing the pressure, leaning into the expectation, and finally, getting serious about rewriting the story. For years, this team has walked into training camp with a motto: clever, polished, forgettable. Words like "rudith" and "be where your feet are" were meant to keep players grounded. But grounding doesn't win championships. Playing it safe doesn't break a 30-year drought. Schottenheimer is bringing a different energy. He's not talking about being present, he's talking about chasing greatness. He's calling on past legends, Super Bowl champions, and proven winners to step into the room and light a fire under this locker room. He wants players to understand what it really takes to reach the mountaintop, and he's not sugarcoating anything. This is more than motivational fluff. It's a mindset shift, a new voice, a real challenge, and honestly, it's exactly what this team needs. Let's dive deeper into what's really happening inside the Cowboys facility. The meeting room was electric, tension rising, voices echoing off the walls. The clock was ticking down in a heated free throw competition. With just seconds left, Joe Looney stepped up and nailed it. The room exploded. Laughter, cheers, pure chaos. "This was sick," said right tackle Terrence Steele. Everyone was hyped. Everyone loved it. Now, Looney hasn't suited up for Dallas since 2020, and Brady James, his opponent, last wore the star back in 2011. But none of that mattered. That day wasn't about stats or resumes. It was about competing. And that's exactly the culture Brian Schottenheimer is trying to build. The new mantra in Dallas: compete every day. It's not just a slogan slapped on a wall. It's etched into the DNA of this team. It's on the path from the locker room to the Ford Center. It's on the walls of Schottenheimer's own office. But more importantly, it's being lived out loud every single day. On May 30th, Schottenheimer introduced Legends Day, and it wasn't just a handshake and photo op. Around 25 former Cowboys from different eras were invited to Otas. They didn't just observe, they became part of it. They sat in team meetings. They joined position breakdowns. They gave advice, shared war stories, and even competed in team drills like the free throw contest, side by side with today's players. This wasn't for show. It was a powerful message. The legacy isn't behind us. It's in this room. We've got unbelievable tradition here, Schottenheimer said. It's not just about trophies. It's about the men who built this franchise. We wanted our players to feel their presence, to feel their energy, to see what Cowboys pride really looks like. And now that pride is beginning to take root again, in the hearts of this new generation. This is the new standard in Dallas, connecting the past to the present, not just in words, but in action. Brian Schottenheimer made it clear. The legends of this franchise, the men who bled for the star, aren't guests. They're family. It's like having uncles or grandfathers in the room, he explained. They're mentors, sounding boards, maybe even friends. But even if they're not close, they've walked this path. And that experience is priceless. Take Randy White, Bob Lilly, Michael Irvin, names that echo through Cowboys history. Those men didn't just bring hardware to Dallas. They brought heart, grit, and a championship mindset. Now, that mindset is being passed down, player to player, soul to soul. Osa Odigizua was drafted in 2021. Talented, hungry, but until now, he'd never met Randy White. That changed during Legends Day. And what Osa heard wasn't just stories of rings and glory, it was about what it takes. White didn't talk about stats. He talked about belief, about carrying a confidence so real it becomes contagious. I loved what he said. Odigizua shared. He emphasized supreme confidence, not just in yourself, but in your teammates. If you want to do something great on the field, You've got to believe it first. It wasn't the first time legends had come around. Jason Garrett had alumni stop by during his time as head coach, leaning on his own days as a backup QB in the 90s. But this feels different. This feels intentional. Schottenheimer is just 6 months into his tenure as head coach, but he's already made a massive impression. "I was blown away," said former defensive lineman Tony Casillas, a 2-time Super Bowl champ. "He has a magnetic personality. Positive. Genuine. He earned our respect immediately. I don't know how it'll all translate on the field, but that room, he owned it. He had us all listening." After the team-wide meeting wrapped, the real work began. Former players broke off into position groups. Joe Looney sat in with the offensive lineman, and right there beside him, 8-time Pro Bowler Tyron Smith, one of the most respected voices in the building. This wasn't nostalgia. This was legacy being passed forward, one player at a time. This wasn't just a symbolic visit. It was a full-circle moment. Hall of Famer Tony Dorsett stood alongside the running backs. Kevin Smith, a key piece of the 90s championship defense, spent time guiding the young DBs. And Michael Irvin. He was right there with CeeDee Lamb, George Pickens, and the entire receiver group, laughing, teaching, connecting. But here's the twist. It wasn't just the current players who took something away from this experience. According to Tony Casillas, the former players may have gained even more. Stepping back into those rooms, hearing coaches break down technique, it pulled them straight back to their playing days. They weren't just visiting, they were reliving the moments that built the foundation of America's team. Picture it. Bob Lilly, Mr. Cowboy himself, speaking directly to today's linemen, breaking down what it means to fight in the trenches. Casillas sat in awe. Bob Lilly's talking. I'm thinking, oh my God, he's here, giving advice to these young players. That's a name you never forget. This moment stretched far beyond X's and O's. Brian Schottenheimer wasn't just creating coaching opportunities, he was creating connection. Brotherhood. Terrence Steele summed it up. Doesn't matter what era you came from. Once you wear the star, you're part of this family. Coach just wanted to remind us, we're walking the path that others paved. That was powerful. It truly was. And it left such an impression that even legends who couldn't attend felt it. Executive Vice President Stephen Jones confirmed more alumni events are coming. Everyone loved it, he said. Even guys like Troy Aikman were reaching out, saying how much they hated missing it. Troy literally said, "If I wasn't in Europe, I would have been there." That tells you everything. For Schottenheimer, this isn't about dwelling on the past. It's about honoring it without being shackled by it. Yes, it's been 29 long seasons since Dallas reached a Super Bowl. That's a heavy shadow, a burden that lingers over every new roster. But Schottenheimer isn't focused on droughts. He's focused on legacy, on unlocking something deeper than talent, something unshakable. And he believes that spark, that brotherhood, just might be the missing piece. But here's the thing, Brian Schottenheimer doesn't view the Cowboys' past as a burden. He sees it as a blessing. When asked if the team's storied history adds pressure, he didn't flinch. Not at all, Schottenheimer said. Not when the head coach stands in front of the team and says the ultimate goal is to win a world championship. That's not weight, that's purpose. This isn't just about being a part of a legacy. It's about living up to it. You've got an incredible organization, an incredible roster, he continued. But the history, that's the standard. That's what this place is built on. Some people might see it as pressure. I see it as power, and so do the legends who returned. They didn't just come to reflect, they came to project. They came to show this new generation what they can become. As Tony Casillas put it, one day, these guys will be us. The question is, what legacy are they going to leave behind? Will it be about money? Or will it be about championships? Schottenheimer wants the answer to be crystal clear. The more these young players see Super Bowl rings up close, the more they hear the stories behind them, the blood, the sacrifice, the unbreakable brotherhood. the more they understand what this game really demands. Because that's the biggest shift between the previous regime and this one. This isn't about erasing the past 30 years. It's about facing them, owning them, and rebuilding this team from the inside out with championship DNA. Not through slogans or posters, but through people, through legends who walk into meeting rooms and say, "Here's how we did it. Now it's your turn." This isn't just symbolic. It's structural. These icons are being woven into the very fabric of the Cowboys' culture again, by design. And listen, whether the Cowboys win the Super Bowl this year or not, one thing is becoming undeniable. Brian Schottenheimer is changing the soul of this team. And if he doesn't end the 30-year drought outright, there's a growing belief he will be the one to, at the very least, lead this team back to the NFC Championship for the first time in decades. This isn't hype. It's hope, with substance behind it. There's something powerful building in Dallas, and it's spreading fast. The message is clear. Compete every single day. And that mentality is starting to take root in the players. On July 4th, a day most people take off, linebacker Kenneth Murray wasn't at a barbecue. He was at the Star, grinding, putting in the work when no one was watching. He wasn't alone. Defensive back Sheldrick Redwine was right there too. Another name this team is counting on to step up. Both men chose sweat over celebration. That's the kind of dedication that separates contenders from champions. And this is what Schottenheimer's culture looks like in action. It's not just about showing up on Sundays. It's about owning the responsibility that comes with wearing the star every single day. Don't run from the pressure. Don't hide behind cliches like "stay in the moment." Embrace it. Own it. That's what being a Dallas Cowboy is supposed to mean. You're not just representing a team. You're carrying the weight of decades of expectations. And fans, real fans, are starving to see that fire return. We're ready to believe again. But this time, we want more than talk. We want players who thrive under pressure, who don't shy away from the moment, who understand what that star really stands for. Because the truth is, pressure only breaks the ones who pretend it doesn't exist. The real ones, they lean into it. They let it sharpen them. They grow from it. And that's exactly what Brian Schottenheimer is instilling in this team. His fingerprints are all over this offseason, from the renewed work ethic to the deep connection with team legends, to the shift in mindset that's visible across the locker room. The culture, it's changing. The fire, it's real. And for the first time in a long time, it feels like Dallas might finally be building something that lasts. This isn't just about football. It's about legacy. And for Cowboys fans everywhere, this new energy, this new attitude, it's everything we've been waiting for.